What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to your astrological spiritual podcast with your girl, Milady's Pons from Galactic Hood Buddha. And we have a new slogan which goes like this: You're going to catch this healing whether you want to or not. And that is because every time you get in touch with my content, some type of healing effect may happen, is what I've heard. So today, guess what? We're talking about March 2026. And yes, as usual, this month is layered as well. We are still in the energy of emotional release and breakthrough, karmic energy, whether if it's good or bad, depending on the way you look at it, as well as guiding ourselves through this new spiritual path, especially with this Neptune and Saturn energy in Aries. So, yeah, it's also a month where things are being set up to start brand new. We'll talk about a bunch of stuff today. All right. We'll be talking about understanding the main energies of March. We'll go into the dates. We'll go into some rising sign advice. And I'll also share a bit of history. I gotta come up with a little bit of history when it comes to the new year on April 20th. Aries season, when the sun enters Aries, is the spring equinox. I'll share some beautiful history on that. Yeah. Some news that I have. I will be putting up the meditations on YouTube. So every full moon and new moon, I'm going to be putting up a meditation so you guys can use that as a way to guide. I did try to do it on Zoom. We did have a good turnout on that. And Spirit is now saying just put it on YouTube. So we're gonna be doing that. Stay tuned for that. Put your notifications on because I'm gonna be dropping some stuff. Also, thank you, thank you, thank you for the subscribers. We are at 835. I will be going live soon so that we can be able to do the giveaways that is coming. Also, talking about what's coming, I'm bringing back the astrological group. I did end it last year to shift through some things, and now again everything is being asked to be reviewed, revised, and bring out to the public. It was a great group. If you've been part of it, comment below on how it assisted you when it comes to astrology. We did a lot of webinars. We met every month. I threw in some extra astrological information. This time around, I will be recording the months of astrology ahead. So those of you who do join will be getting the energies ahead of time. So you can go ahead and prepare pretty much, right? Uh don't forget that you can get your transit monthly report. I have people who order their monthly report for a few months from now to see what's going to be happening. It could be for work, it could be for love, it could be for abundance, for whatever it is you're moving. You want to find out what month is the best month to move. For travel, I know many of you are getting into the astrocartography. I assist with that as well so that you can know where's the best place for you to travel. I have someone who uh, got the service and now they ended up pretty much having some residency in the space of where I mentioned would be great for them to. And yes, it is in another country. And that just brings joy to my heart because astrology is numbers and it's pretty much is math, right? And so when you take somebody's birth chart and you put it into traveling, that just hits a different stage. Tarot is still here, Reiki is still here, all right, and the wellness services are still here. I have not gone anywhere. I've been here. I have been following my transit as usual. I can't tell y'all to do something and I'm not doing it, right? So for the most part, a lot of times during this energy, my energy does not start rising up into the top of my natal chart until Gemini season, Cancer season comes into place. So that's when you guys will see me more often. 9 out of 10 times, I'm always going into that hermit mode during the time where I mean, I was born during a time when my natal chart at the bottom coincides with the winter, which means sit the fuck down and revise and review things. Get in tune with your emotions, redefine several things in your life so that you can move forward. So I do listen to it, and I pray that you guys begin to start tapping into that energy for yourself so you can know when it's best to actually move forward with things or when it is to sit down. I know when I look at my chart and they tell me to sit down, I'll be super tight because I'm like, I want to do. And when I do, and I've been told to sit down, even through the natal chart, through spiritual readings, and I don't listen, I do face some bumps on the road. With awareness, I'm a human, so I want to figure it out. Like, y'all telling me to sit down, let me see if it's true. And it's like, girl, sit down. All right. So we coming into the month still in Pisces season, Mercury retrograde, the eclipse energy is still with us. And through all of that, we're going to walk straight into Aries season, fire season. So March is about cleaning everything up, finding ways to accept the healing that is being presented, accept what is being released, and use that energy to move forward into your next momentum. So when it comes to understanding the main energies of 2026, I want to share what's going on with the uh, planets and the zodiac signs for this month. And we're basically going to be, let me grab my mic because I got my notes. So we're basically going to be entering March in Pisces season, right? That's a zodiac sign that's connected to Neptune. Let's not forget that Neptune just left Pisces. Congratulations, Pisces. You're off the fucking leash. I don't know what the hell are you waiting for. Everything is go time for you right now. Ain't shit stopping you. For the most part, I would recommend using a lot of the moon energies to redefine yourself, right? When the moon is in Pisces, work with that energy. Your new moon is coming up this month. Check that out. And, really figure out what Neptune did for you in the last 14 years. Pisces rules the intuition, dreams, healing, spirituality, compassion, and endings. It rules the 12th house. It rules community. It rules karmic energy, karmic endings and beginnings, the services that we have with the community as well. So this is coined to a lot of people who are considering themselves to be spiritual or just going through spiritual awakenings. Our dreams are super heightened at this time. I know I started meditating out of nowhere all over again. Pisces season is the downtime for me. You know what I mean? Because water be out here, bringing down my fire, bringing down my fire. But sometimes, these fire signs, we need that. So ain't no complaints over here. So the beginning of March, we're really going to be processing our emotions, getting a lot of spiritual information, what they call spiritual downloads, or what you want to call those aha moments, or God said this to me, Allah said that to me. Whoever it is that's giving you these insights, there's a lot of insights that are happening at this current time. So it's really a cycle of restoring our faith wherever that's at, and a cycle of releasing the old. All right. So as you get into that, we do have Mercury retrograding in Pisces since February 26th. Okay. So communications are going to be foggy. We're thinking emotionally and not logically. A lot of old conversations are going to be coming up, old dreams, whether if they are in the dream realm or actual dreams here where you're like, you know what? I need to tap back into that. We will be tapping back into old wounds as well. Some of us, including myself, I don't exclude myself, which is one thing, let me say, because I said this, I was having a conversation and I said this. I'll be sharing this information because it's what's coming up. What excludes me or any other spiritual advisor, astrologer, tarot reader, or anyone who is here to guide? How does this energy exclude us just because we're providing this for you guys? We're doing this on the logical perspective and intuitive perspective, and then we are also writing that out in our lives as well. which is why some people post early, some people post in the moment. It's all spirit led. Nonetheless, we also have to go through this energy as well. So when I say Mercury's and Pisces is fogginess, I'm going through that as well. It's not that I'm excluded from it. However, I do take my own advice, just like I tell y'all, use your spiritual tools. Take that moment. Do not escape it. Let's get through it. All right. I just wanted to share that. All right. So all of these things are coming up for what, my ladies? For what? For us to do that grand finale, reminding ourselves that Pisces rules the 12th house, which is the ending of the zodiac sign before Aries season comes in, right? And so it is important for us to really focus on what we truly need to end: the habits, these daily habits that we have. How do we end it? How do we recreate something that's gonna replace those habits? Right? Old wounds could be anything. It could be from childhood wounds, it could be from relationship wounds, it could be from material wounds. It all depends on you. Okay. With Mars in Pisces, our energies are going inwards. We're not meant to actually be as loud as we would like to, because Mars doesn't do so well in Pisces. It really doesn't. Mars, again, fire energy, drive, moving. I want to do what I want to do, and Pisces is like, yes, you do. And are you emotionally tapping in? Are you impulsively doing this for the moment, or are you emotionally going to tie yourself to something that's going to be meaningful, that's going to be strategic, and that is also going to be aligned to your spiritual beliefs and faith at this time? Then after that, we're going to be moving into Aries energy. Starts March 20th. Once the sun enters Aries, everything obviously shifts from water to fire. So Aries rules our courage, our actions, our leaderships, new beginnings. All right. So now the energy goes from I'm healing to I'm moving. And with Mercury going direct that exact same day, clarity returns like this. Mercury going direct that day does not mean that Mercury is going into Aries. That just means that Mercury is still in Pisces, and now we're going to get a lot of clarity, a lot of mental clarity, especially when it comes to those themes that I just mentioned. When it comes to Pisces, right? Mercury actually is doing this little thing where it's staying a little longer than we would like to. So it's going to be in Pisces until April 15th, which is funny to me because that's tax season for those of us who do the mundane material thing. Okay, so of course clarity returns. Um, this is when plans become more active, confidence through the roof. Stop playing. You already know. All right, decisions are able to stick more clearly. All right. From there, should I share about, because on that same day is the day that is yeah, let me share that real quick. Let's take a pause real quick because I'm going to share the information about the Astrological New Year, so you guys can get an understanding on how big March 20th is, not just because it's Aries season, not just because Mercury is going direct. This is basically what the new year is considered, not only for astrologers, but this goes into ancient time as well. And you guys know that I am so in love with what the past always has to share. So let me just make sure that we're still recording. Yes. Okay, awesome. So when it comes to the new astrological year, it always happens March 20th, and it's called the spring equinox. The sun enters Aries, and it marks the time when the northern hemisphere is moving into the space of spring, right? And they call this the real energetic new year of the zodiac. Wow, January 1st is the calendar resets, right? March 20th is the astrological reset, the cosmic reset, the spiritual reset. This is when the zodiac wheel starts over at 0 degrees or critical degrees is always 0 and 29. In Aries, the first zodiac sign. Aries is coined to bring in rebirth, bring in the fire, life force, and initiatives. So, spiritually and astrologically, this is the moment when new life begins. All right. So, what is the spring equinox, my ladies? All right. So, on this day, what happens is that the day and the night are almost equal in length. Light and darkness are balanced, and the earth crosses the celestial equator. In other words, the same thing that happens when the winter solstice is the same thing that happens here. So it symbolizes a balance, a renewal, a fresh start, and for us to it's like a restoration of our energy. Again, if you do follow with the seasons, you will understand that this is the moment in time for us to feel like the trees and the leaves that are rising and the flowers that are coming up and the birds. Although, in New York, I'm trying to figure out why these birds ain't flying south. But I digress, right? When the birds are chirping and the sun is out and everybody feeling good. All right. It's nature's way of saying it's time to rise again. So after months of the winter and the introspective and basically begins moving outwards. This is for those of us who, have tapped into that energy and seen it work for ourselves. Why Aries starts the zodiac sign? In ancient astrology, the zodiac wasn't random. Aries was chosen as the first zodiac sign because it aligns with spring, birth of crops, rebirth of life, increased light, animals mating season, and agriculture beginnings. Aries represents the sparks of life, survival instincts. Again, it goes back to courage, leadership, and selfhood. Aries represents the energy of I am. So the zodiac starts with I exist, I begin, I move. First house. All right, let's go a little bit into the historical context of this beautiful April 20th. March. I have a friend's birthday, April 20th, March 20th. All right. So when it comes to the Mesopotamian, or what we would call Babylon, some of the earliest astrologers in history, right, over 4,000 years ago, marked spring equinox as the beginning of the sacred year. They aligned with rituals, kingships, ceremonies, and again, agricultural cycles to this time. And if you guys know about the agricultural aspect of this, is it does go with crops and what is being rebirthed. Us in the US and many other spaces, we are highly, highly honored to be having fruits and vegetables all year round. But I will tell you one thing: if you know how to pick fruits and vegetables, some of those fruits and vegetables are not in season, which is why sometimes they are hard and they are not ripe as of yet. All right, I digress. So they seen it as a divine reset between the human species and the cosmos, the skies, the universe. In ancient Egypt, it was connected to the season of resurrection and renewal. It also aligns with the cycle of Osiris. If you know about Osiris, he was connected to death and rebirth. Let me know if y'all want to talk about that. We don't just talk about regular things here. And the rising of life force of the Nile River. All right. So spring was very, very, very sacred. If you want to get a little bit deeper, just to throw something out there, in the Persian New Year's, they call it and excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, the Nowruz, right? To this day, millions of people still celebrate that on the equinox, and it literally just means a new day. It's a spiritual and a cultural new year based on cleaning homes, forgiveness, new intentions, and honoring the ancestors, which obviously aligns strategically with what's happening with the astrological year. So, a lot of this is not just something that we're just saying because it sounds cute. It really is connected to a lot of things that our ancestors did. If we want to go into paganism and indigenous traditions, many indigenous traditions, like I said, Celtics, earth-based traditions honor the equinox as a fertility, as a planting season. Rituals that people do, they focus on blessing the seeds, honoring the land, calling in abundance, and giving thanks to nature. All right. Isn't that around the time when Easter comes along? All right. Yeah. So, all right. So, we spoke about this already, but I just wanted to mention the energy that this day brings is a rebirth after such an emotional and spiritual winter. It activates our life force once again. We got that fire energy coming in. It resets whatever purpose we have in mind in the current moment, reminding ourselves that we our purpose is breathing, and these are the missions that are coming up, right? And this is a time to also begin to reclaim our personal power, because after Pisces season, which is the final sign about endings, forgiveness, and releasing, Aries season starts. So now that, like I mentioned before, now that we healed some aspects of our life, because again, healing is for life, who have you become after this grand hibernation time? Pisces is about endings, spirituality, and surrendering. Aries brings in new beginnings, courage, and action. So they basically mirror each other. You got the death and the rebirth, the reset and the movement, and then you have the healing and the creation. So that basically is letting you know March is here to say, I'm different now and I'm ready. This is how you should show up and show out. And yes, it's okay to shift. Why wouldn't you want to? All right, let me see what else I have to share with y'all. How you can honor this day. Clean your space, set new intentions and goals, pull out some tarot if that's for you. Get a transit reading for me if you be like. Go the fuck outside. Go outside, speak your affirmations. Don't just think about it, speak it, write it down, and give thanks for the past year. And if you want to ask yourself anything, what do I want to initiate this year, is what you can ask yourself. All right. So, like we said, January might be the first of the calendar, but astrologically, March basically is the way we spiritually reset ourselves, where our courage returns from all the nice things that just happened to us a few months ago, and then we have the courage to begin again. All right, so let's go back because I want to share. We still in eclipse season, so remind yourself about that. We have the Virgo Lunar Eclipse on March 3rd, and then we have the Pisces New Moon on the 18th. After the Virgo Lunar Eclipse, let me look at my calendar, but for the most part, we're not going to have another eclipse until September, so y'all can, relax. I know at some point we was getting hit with eclipse like crazy. It was just like, wait, we got way more eclipses than we would have liked. Hold on. Just to like give y'all a sense of breathing. Yeah. Oh, actually, I lied. It's in August. August 12th is the next eclipse that's coming, and it's starting in Leo. That's the new cycle that's coming in that we're going to talk about as well. But yeah, the next two eclipses in August, and we should be good. I feel like the ending of this year is going to be alright. If you didn't see the astrological tarot New Year video with me and tarologist Grecia, go check that out because we talk about a couple of these things. All right. So with this full moon and new moon that's coming in, if you notice, the full moon is going to be in the beginning of the month, so it's clearing up house on before the new moon comes in Pisces. So this is to basically align with what's coming up, preparing us for that Aries season to restart a cycle. Virgo is connected to systems, it's connected to our health, it's connected to work. Animals, Pisces is connected to spirit, faith, and surrendering. So March is basically saying fix the structure and honor your soul. Some planetary highlights that we're going to talk about is Mercury in Pisces. That is going to be obviously retrograde until March 20th. We are going to be having conversations come up to the surface if you are in any type of relationship, whether that is platonic, whether that is siblings, whether that is cousins, your parents. These different conversations are going to be coming up and they're going to be resurfacing to see where you at. Where you at? Where you at? You could be even having a conversation with somebody that is doesn't really know much about you, and they mention something, and in that conversation, some past energy resurface. So just chuck your energy out. These things are going to be happening. Old ideas are going to be returning. Point example, how I shared that I'm going to be bringing back the astrological group. This is part of that energy. All right. Our intuitions are going to be increasing. If it's anything that you do during Pisces season, during Mercury retrograde until April 15th, tap into your intuition, tap into your spiritual gifts. When I say that Mercury and Pisces is a great way to tap into your intuitive gifts, like I'm just saying, if you trust yourself, you will be on point in the directions that you're going. All right, just keep trusting your intuition. Pull out those cards for confirmations. Ask for signs. But this is really up there. If you deciding to tap into tarot, let me know if y'all want me to really bring out the tarot course, because I got it all ready. Just let me know. All right, and confusions are definitely going to be clearing after Mercury. After March 20th. So just really use this time to read, use this time to study yourself, study your surroundings, study what you desire to do, right? Studying doesn't have to be boring. I always say redefine things for ourselves. So let's tap into that. All right. When we go and Venus, I'll share the dates, but Venus is going to go into Aries and then it's going to move in to Taurus in the same time frame. So in the beginning we have bold love, direct desires, because the Aries don't play. Is like, I want what I want. And towards the end of the month, we're gonna find more stability in love. We're gonna find more loyalty and more security, as Taurus says, hey, I'm deciding that I chose what I chose with that Aries energy, and that Taurus energy is saying this is how we moving. And this could be with work, right? You decided to leave a job. You made a bold move to desire to go towards what you love, right? And at the end of the month, everything is working out for you because you decided to make that choice. I feel like March is uh, more than usual about the choices that we make intentionally. All right. Let's be real mindful. Mars in Pisces, the energy is up this month as well. Got a lot of that energy, a lot of that stellium energy in Pisces. All right. So pay attention. Energy behind the scenes, spiritual motivation. So it's less about the doing and it's more like use this Mars energy to help you with this Mercury energy. That's all I have to say. All right. So we're less in confrontation mode and we're more in strategic or strategizing how we're going to be expressing ourselves emotionally, how we're going to be moving forward as this season come up. I know a lot of y'all ready to jump for the summer. I don't know what y'all doing this summer. This summer is gonna be different. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. People are gonna show up and pop out, and you gonna be like, "What the? Yeah, they've been doing the work." Jupiter, oh, Jupiter goes direct this month in Cancer. So anything that really has been feeling stagnant is going to be moving forward. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and it has been in retrograde. So once it goes direct March 10th, I will talk about that. Emotional growth is going to be amplifying. Family healing is going to be amplifying. Oh, but I thought it was doing that already. Yeah, internally. Now let's see if the forgiveness that you said you had for that cousin that owed you the money is really true when you go to a reunion and all you could think about is how they owe you the money. Hmm? And that's just an example that I came up with. Who is that? Tell me. Tell me in the comments. All right. Home expansions, there might have been some stagnation when it comes to people maybe applying for apartments, moving. You might be feeling like maybe some juju was on you and you haven't been able to move forward with fixing your patio before the summer comes. Well, guess what? Jupiter might have been part of that. All right. So now things are going to be moving forward. We have that Uranus energy also exiting Taurus right now. So there's a lot of things that have been in pause with our likings. Go color. Go color, go do yoga. All right. And with this, our inner security returns. We don't feel that insecure because obviously things are moving forward for us, right? Mm-hmm. Why you didn't have that security before that? That was the lesson. Let me stop. Listen, I was going through it too. Don't worry. Oh, out here praying and shit. What the fuck? Why stuff is not moving? Girl, Jupiter in Cancer is retrograde. You're right. Let me focus. I sat myself down a few times and I got sat down by a few people. Shout out to the people in my life that sat me down. Who have the courage to, because I really realized that a lot of people don't have the courage to sit Aries down. I don't know why. Anyways, Saturn in Aries. Reminding ourselves this is the energy for everyone for the next 2.5 years. Discipline around our identity. We are learning how to become leaders in a more mature and confident way. Riding the wave with Neptune. So, people are not going to be the same. I don't even understand why y'all think people are going to be the same. All right, this is the energy that's riding out for us. All right. So I'm going to go real quick, share some tips for the dates so you guys can be alert on what to expect on the daily basis. Come back to this as much as you need to. Grab your notebook, and then I'll go into the rising signs. And then guess what? I'll be out of your hair. And then you'll be wondering where I'm at. What is she doing with her life? I don't even know. Nah, I lied. I got surprises for y'all. But I gotta, harness the energy. All right, so from March 1st to the 3rd, we have that eclipse energy. We are in realignment. We have the moon in Leo. So the moon is in the wax and gibbon. So basically, March opens up with the moon in Leo, just like it did the beginning of this month. However, it's not necessarily a full moon. It's just giving us that reminder again. So emotionally, we're craving joy, validation, creativity, right? We might even feel like we want to give life a try again. There's kind of like our spirits is talking to us. So we have that energy March 1st. March 2nd, like I mentioned, Mars enters Pisces and also the moon is in Virgo. Why am I sharing the moons? Why? Because I've done that in the past. And also moon energy is our emotions. So as these bigger energies are coming in, where are your emotions? So that's why I'm sharing some moon energy at the same time. So what does that mean? See which one resonates with you and work with it, play with it. So March 2nd, Mars enters Pisces and also the moon is in Virgo. Now, when Mars enters Pisces, it's a big shift. Like I told y'all before, Mars is how we move, how we act, and how we assert ourselves. And in Pisces, that energy goes inward. So instead of us grinding publicly, we're working behind the scenes. Instead of us arguing, we're more in our feelings. And instead of us really pushing anywhere, we're in processing mode. Reminding ourselves that Mercury's retrograde is still active. So this is not a time to really rush, to push anything, or to do unnecessary blockages for ourselves. It is the time for us to recalibrate. March 3rd, the Virgo Lunar Eclipse is here. Is major. The lunar eclipse in Virgo is about ending around routines, work, our health, and our daily habits. But Mercury rules Virgo, and Mercury is retrograde. So old projects, old situation, unfinished businesses is going to be coming back. And that example could go as you might suddenly hear from a former employer, an old client might reappear, or even like a past health issue might end up coming into your attention. The eclipse is here for us to fix what we've been ignoring. Surprise. From March 4th to the 9th, we're more focused on our hearts and our creativity. What does that look like for us? March 4th, we have Venus in Pisces and it's doing a sextile with Uranus in Taurus. If you don't know what these meanings are, I have a free 20 terminology PDF that you can download so you can understand what sextile is, but this is a good energy. So there's going to be unexpected connections here. If you're interested in making new friends, connecting with new love energy, or just being inspired in one way or another, this energy is going to be coming in on March 4th. Look out for that for those of us who have been feeling bummed out with the energy. Not necessarily saying, oh my God, what's coming to inspire me, but put yourself in the energy of inspiration. Put yourself in the energy of love if that's what you are calling. What is your desire? March 5th, the sun is in Pisces and is going to be doing a triangle, which is a good aspect, a trine with Jupiter in Cancer. This is a blessing aspect. There's an opportunity here coming back. All right. Faith gets restored for any of us who have not um been feeling like faith has been on our side, or you just feel like you've done a lot and nothing has really been working. This is the day that you might see some good surprises. All right. If you've been also doubting yourself, this is when spirit reminds you who you are. Don't forget who you are. This is a good time for those of you who enjoy doing spiritual baths and stuff. This is a great time to do sweet baths. Get into the mode. Get into the mode again of who you are. I don't know who it is. Tell me in the comments. On the 6th, Venus enters Aries, and also the moon is in Scorpio. Dun, 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 dun. Basically, Venus in Aries does very well because it's like, I am not waiting anymore for anything. I'm choosing me, right? Love gets bold, our desires get louder, and our boundaries get more firmer. However, with the moon in Scorpio, we still have that emotional detox happening. So there might be some egoistic things happening on this day. Calm it down. All right. Let's do it from a healthy perspective. All right. Why is it that you're building the boundaries? Why is it that you're getting louder with your desires? All right. Is it to prove things to people? Or is it to actually get yourself into the space of where you desire to be? All right. March 7th, the sun in Pisces is connected to Mercury in Pisces. They're basically, this is a intense connection. We have the sun in Pisces connected to our brain. So basically, our purpose, our identity is being connected. What our heart's desire is being connected to what we're thinking, and it's all intuitive. All right. So this is a reset point with the Mercury retrograde. New ideas are being born from old wisdom, old knowledge, right? So go back to those old notes. I have people around me, and including myself, who write things down and then go back. I'm like, who wrote that? Right? We might have gotten inspired during that time to write a business idea, to write a letter to ourselves about love, to write uh I always tell people to also write their accomplishment list. Go back to your accomplishments list. All right. Think about what business was dropped in 2023. What book you didn't finish. There's a lot of us who desires to write book, and now more than ever, it is super easy to write books. Super, super easy. So what's stopping you? Don't tell me writer's block, because I'm gonna fucking take off my chancleta and I'm gonna smack in your face. Because writer's block don't exist. Yes, it does, my ladies. Writer's block does exist. You ready? Go into Google Doc and put in the typing, the voice note, so you could type. Now there's no writer's block. Now you're not writing. Now you speaking. So stop playing with me. Go finish that book. All right. And then also, what healing practice did we pause? I know that I paused a few healing practices. And back in July, I also lost faith. All right. And my belief system kind of shattered. So I know what that's like. So there's a lot of things that are being called back to your awareness to see what worked and what didn't work. And this day really gets loud with it. All right. So on the 8th and the 9th, we have a few trines. We have the sun in Pisces making a good aspect um with Mars and Jupiter. And so these 2 days, in the 9th we have Mercury in Pisces. So there's a lot of energies going on with Mars and Jupiter, and these 2 days are going to be more on our creative flow. We are using that energy from the past couple of days to motivate ourselves back and to start believing that we can start again. I know that start believing we can start again. Yeah, exactly. We are building that courage. We're building that wisdom, that energy. A lot of times I like to visualize things before I actually get it done. You know what I mean? And since it's still in Pisces time frame, why not continue to visualize, to imagine? Pisces is really good for that. Sit down and imagine, draw things out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I remember that my desire was to become a fitness instructor, right, for the parks department. And I drew stick figures. I talked about this before. Everybody was in stick figures, and my class had a lot of people, and that's how I desired. I wasn't an artist, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from my desires. And sure enough, the first paid class that I went to, I had over 60 people. And from that time on, for the next 5 years, I always had a waiting list for my class. I'm just saying, don't get discouraged because you don't know how to draw. All right, from March 10th to the 16th, this is kind of like a turning point for those of us who are paying attention. All right, this is when things starts getting juicy. All right, a lot of downloads are going to be, a lot of inspirational thoughts, a lot of aha moments, a lot of yes, move forward with this. It's happening because Jupiter is going direct in Cancer on the March 10th, as I mentioned before. This is huge. Jupiter has been retrograde since November of 2026. Boo. Oh, that makes a lot of sense for me. Anyways, there goes my aha moments. Expansion was blocked, growth was delayed. Now the doors are starting, calm down. Ooh, the doors are starting to crack open. So that basically means that you um when you start riding your bike and you're about to start pedaling, it's that type of energy. The doors are starting to open. I mean, because it's the first day that is going direct. You know what I mean? But because Mercury's still retrograde, so move slow, plant your seeds, and don't rush the harvest. The same day, Venus is in Aries and is doing a great aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. All right. That's good because Pluto in Aquarius is talking about the community. Venus is bringing in that me energy, that energy of how can I show up and show out. Some of you who are on social media, y'all can use this day to really present things to the community. It'll be a great time. This is also a great time for passion and love. And you may want to work on strengthening your emotional bounds with yourself and with others. And just check in with yourself this day. This is like a self-care day. Although every day should be a self-care, but I digress. March 11th, we do have the last quarter moon in Sagittarius, which just means is a release phase. Let go of the outdated beliefs about what's possible. All right. Now that you've been through a few days in March, how can you rearrange? This is the check-in point. Like I said, how can you rearrange what's possible and what's not possible based on what you have been presented so far and what you've been revising? March 12th and 13th, we have the moon in Capricorn, and basically that's going to be a time for us to get more discipline into the things that we are saying that we desire to do. And also, we're going to have enough energy these 2 days to be able to do it. So it's no more, I'll do it later. I said this on Thread the other day. Like if you and I'm one of those people because I was writing things. I got angry yesterday. I'm not even gonna lie, and I ripped up the calendar that I did for myself because for the past 2 months I've been putting things on the calendar, especially like great things, so I can post, so I can do, and none of that were coming into alignment. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I'm a very diligent person. I'm a person who sits down and puts a fucking timer for everything, writes things on the clock. That's my Saturn side. Even though I got my wild side, that's my rising sign, right? I write everything down. And so I could be diligent because I know I got a wild side. I got a side that don't care. So that one little aspect of diligency that I got, I'm not gonna front. That's why they got Saturn to be the ruler of my chart because hey, I would have been wild in these streets. All right. So anyway, so I ripped up my calendar and I'm starting anew because that calendar was not serving me, obviously. And that's what I realized. So I'm sharing that because I got a Capricorn rising and I know what this means when it's time to get disciplined. All right. Don't do it later. Take 10 minutes on the clock and do it now. From April 14th to the 15th, we have the moon that's going to be in Aquarius. We also have a conjunction, which means that two planets are going to be together in the same sign. So we have not just necessarily in the same sign, but they're basically connecting in degrees and they're aligning. Mercury in Pisces with Mars in Pisces. So this is going to be a mental breakthrough for a lot of us. Old ideas are revealed with new fire. So we're thinking differently now. And that's because what have we been doing? Putting in our actions. We put in the actions. We put in the actions. On the next day, March 16th, the moon moves into Pisces, and that's our intuition starts getting even more heightened. We're spiritually sensitive, and we might even need more rest. I'm telling y'all right now, I've been so diligent in taking my naps. There's a few days that I miss my nap and I really feel it, but I've been diligent in taking my naps. Yesterday was an amazing day. I was able to do the things that I desired to do all the way up till I went to sleep, and that felt great because I added nap. I added a nap and I added a workout. And I feel like as long as I add a nap and a workout within my daily routines, I'm going to be okay. Okay. So, do not ignore if you have to rest. Do not ignore if you have to tap in emotionally because this is what's setting us up for the reset. We have on the 17th, the moon is going to be together with Mercury in Pisces, and that's where we're going to be going deeper into review mode, reflection mode, and recognizing what needs to be rearranged. One of the things that I always share in my personal group and people that I talk to and I have conversations with, you don't necessarily have to let go of friendships. Some friendships just need to be rearranged in the way you prioritize them. And when you learn to do that, there's no need to really, I'm not really big on, I'm getting rid of this person, I'm letting go. Like that just happens naturally based on your leveling up, and it's more of you than the other person. It's more of where are you going? Are these people in the same frequency? And maybe they are to a certain degree, and then they have to be rearranged. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're no longer your friends. That doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't fuck with them anymore. And they was there for me for all of this, and that's a time that they were supposed to be there. I have had people in my life that have guided me on my spiritual path, and with these same conversations that I'm having with y'all, I can't even have with them because they're not on that path anymore. And what am I supposed to do? They were my real friends. Listen, March 18th, Pisces New Moon is here. This is when the spiritual reset happens. Why? Neptune is not in Pisces anymore. And the last time we had the new moon in Pisces, we also had Saturn there too. These two energies are not there anymore. So this right here is us being able to utilize Mercury retrograde at the same time to revisit our dreams, to reclaim our intuition, right? Some of us during these last 14 years don't even know what was going on because Neptune had us so fogged up that we don't even know what the fuck was going on. All right. And you like, damn, 14 years? Yeah, 14 years. I know through that battle of my 14 years, there was a lot of illusions that died out. A lot. Literally, figuratively died out and, spiritually died out. A lot of illusions. That includes family illusions, that includes ancestral illusions, friendship, like in the last 14 years. That's right. So, yes, we do have to revisit a lot of dreams. Yes, we do have to reclaim our intuition, especially if we were sharing it with other people. All right. Healing creatively when it comes to our wounds. We're not taking the same steps anymore. There's so many ways to target a certain wound within ourselves that there's no form right now. I'm not even gonna lie. There's no form right now for us to be like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Information is out there. I mean, shit. Right now, people's using Chat GBT as they motherfucking counselors. So there's information out there. There's no more. I don't know how. Let's get to it. This new moon is when we set our intentions for our soul and not our ego. Tap into that soul, people. All right. Aries season is starting to get activated from March 19th to the 25th. Already on 19th, the moons move into Aries. We like, all right, Pisces, peace to the Middle East. And this is another thing that I have to share with y'all. These energies are moving quickly. You just notice how I said the new moon is on the 18th and on the 19th, the moon moves into Aries. This is why I desired to share about the moons because I don't think y'all was listening to me when I was telling y'all, listen, the next few moons is going to be at 28 degrees. Go ahead and manifest early because on the same day, the moon is going to be moving into another zodiac sign and it's not going to be the same energy that you're claiming. This is exactly what I was talking about. All right, the Pisces new moon is on the 18th and right on the 19th, boom, the moon shifts right into Aries. All right, the energy shifts and the motivation returns. The 20th, we enter into Aries season and Mercury goes direct and is the astrological new year and is the spring equinox. Go up, move to the beginning of this video podcast, so that you can hear about the astrological new year and the historical aspect that I mentioned and things that you can do. All right. This is where we coined this as the game changer. Aries season is new beginning. Mercury direct. Clarity returns. All right. We already got the motivation returning with the moon in Aries. And then clarity is going to come back. Now we feel more confident. Now we feel the courage. Although Mars is still in Pisces, right, where our courage is at its dim, we get this good aspect on the 21st where it connecting to Jupiter, who's direct in Cancer, and it gives us the sense of a green light energy and opportunity or momentum that's stirring up for us. So it's not all that bad, Mars and Pisces, especially when it's connecting to other aspects that are in good connection. Jupiter being retrograde would be a little bit different, but because it's direct, we feel good about it. We feel good about it and things expand that day. On the 22nd, the sun in Aries is connected to Neptune in Aries. Now this energy is for the first time in a long time because as we know, Neptune has not been in Aries since the 1800s. Y'all know I spoke about this already. Don't get me into it because we could be here all day. All right. So the sun conjunct Neptune in Aries, new dreams, new visions, new downloads. So we truly have to pay attention. When I say that things is new, I can't even explain to you what's new. I can only share with you when that experience comes in because your girl is in the same stage. And if you thinking, like I shared before, that other spiritual people know what's going on. They don't even know what's going on in their life. We all riding this wave together. You hear me? Take out your tarot cards. Tell me what they say. March 22nd, excuse me, March 23rd and the 24th, the moon is in Gemini. So as the previous day, we see that our dreams are, we're getting new dreams, ideas, new visions, new ways to do things and to move forward. With the moon in Gemini, those ideas are going to be connected to our emotions. So that day could be busy for us. It could be a lot of networking, a lot of catching up, based on what we've been shifting through. This is when we connect with people. We connect with new people. We connect with old people. We reconnect and see how things are going. Y'all already know Gemini is a chatty moon. So, I mean, Gemini in general is chatty. So, they rated it emotionally chatted up. Yo, look what I've been up to. March 25th, the sun is in Aries, conjunct the Saturn in Aries. All right. And this right here is the first quarter moon. This is where discipline meets your destiny. Hard work plus vision equals results for us. If we stay consistent, this is when people start noticing. So, you already know when I'm dropping this. Stay consistent this month. And when I say people start noticing, this is for us that have been desiring to do social media, for us desiring for our boss to notice us, to be able to give us that promotion. Maybe some of us are desiring for our lovers to notice us in a different way. Who knows? But Saturn is about consistency. And for the next 2.5 years, it's going to be in Aries. Be consistent. Don't play around. Don't do no shortcuts. If you're going to be on a diet, because Aries is about our identity and things like that. So if you're going to go on a diet or anything like that, do yourself a favor and do it the right way. That goes according to you. Don't take no shortcuts. All right. Again, hard work plus vision equals results. March 26th to the 31st, this is where our emotions are expanded and are more stabilized. We have the moon in Cancer that's going to be connected to Jupiter in Cancer. So that is what? Intuitive energy. All right. So big dreams happen. Hope is returned. Let me run that back. Let me take that hope out. And faith is returned. You might see a big change happening here. Again, there's a lot of surprises that are happening with Jupiter. So stay in touch with your energy. This could be even, like I said, some of y'all might have been on the waiting list for a long time to get an apartment or anything like that, and boom, you got the answers now. I feel like March 26th is the day of big answers coming in, and it's about us staying in tune with our intuition. On the 27th, we have the moon that's in Leo and it's going to be trining the sun in Aries. So it's going to be doing a nice triangle. So we have our confidence going to be off the roof and we're really going to be feeling ourselves. Think about it. Fire upon fire. What you going to do? That's the day of my grandfather. Happy birthday, grandfather. My grandfather passed away a year before I was born. Interesting, right? And he was born, I was born not because I'm after him. I was born a day after him. Yeah, interesting. My birthday, March 28th. Saturn is in Aries and is doing a great aspect, a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. This is going to be a powerful day. It's a transformative day. Stay disciplined. It's only going to bring mastery into your life. All right. You are not the same person that you were last year, nor do you want to be. Not in a low vibrational state of being, more of like you've asked for shift, you asked for change. Now, why would you want to be that same person that in the same place where you asked for this? You are that. You're there. Stay connected. March 29th, you have the moon in Leo that's trining Venus in Aries. So this is a lot of magnetism energy. There's a lot of attraction that day. This is the day where you feel like you want to dress up and show out. Do that. This is like a glow up energy. Take advantage of this day. This could be a day where you do a nice rose bath, do an attraction bath, say your attraction affirmation. Leo is about attracting. Leo is about the heart. Venus and Aries, I told you, is the whole I'ma do me, I'ma do me. And this day is bringing that energy, so why not take advantage of it? March 30th, you have Venus entering Taurus. So we have a lot of that energy when it comes to stabilizing self-love, our money, the money, our personal homes, our luxury. All those things are coming into fruition because guess who rules Taurus? Venus. Venus is home, baby. So this is about securing our relationships. Again, relationships is has so many branches. Figure out which one is happening for you right now. Securing your relationships, securing your finances, grounding that for yourself, like I mentioned, self-worth, and sensual self-care. Y'all already know that I already put out the calendar for y'all for March. Go check out the calendar. Honestly, every day is a new day, and you can pick what works for you, and you can count it as self-care. All right. March 31st, the last day of the month, we have the moon in Virgo that's doing a trine with Uranus in Taurus. So pretty much this is a day to coin authenticity as a way to ride how things are going to be working out for you. Balance is extremely restored. The moon in Virgo talks about you are emotionally stable and you're emotionally structuring yourself to be able to balance whatever it is that you have been working on when it comes to Uranus and Taurus, whether that's your money, whether that's your confidence, whether it's that your relationships. You know, how many of y'all are doing stocks? Check that out. All right. We're gonna go ahead and tap into the let me just get some water because I'm gonna do the rising signs and I'm gonna give you guys the advice and then I'm gonna be out of here. Where I'm going to take a nap. All right, while we take this break, let me get water. We is me. Y'all coming with me to get water? What you think this is? Tell me in the comments. Was your rising sign? I'm about to tell you what house is gonna be with, for this March energy. Hold on. I guess that's your reminder. Excuse me. To go drink some water. Where's my phone? Ooh, I'm tired. Yeah, I know as a projector, I be having 4 hours to be able to project it for the human designs. If you want to learn about human design, let me know. I'm there too, baby. I'm all over for a reason, and not all over in a bad way, all over for a good reason. I get to take care of the community. But as a projector, I only have 4 hours in my life to do what it is that I need to do before I crash out. And I didn't know that. And this is why I love human design, because human design assisted me to align to my energy, not just on its not just on its own. It does add astrology into that. And yes, I also use about 7 other different ways to take care of myself because I learned that. And I told you guys about this already. It's not one way. Multi-dimensional. I watched this video. Yes, this is our commercial right here. I watched this video on Gaia where it expressed to us that there's 22 versions of ourselves working at the same time, and this is what they mean by multi-reality, that we are in multiple places at one time. So it's 22 versions of ourselves acting in one time. And I know that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna need y'all to look into that. All right. And this could be the reason why our minds can be all over the place, because there's 22 versions of ourselves all over the place. There goes the healing version of you over there. Come over here, healing version. All right. So let's go into your rising energy. Let me switch my mic so that this one won't go away. Hold up. All right, let me see. Yep, I'm back. Cool. So now, whew, let's get into what this all means by your rising sign, because honestly, this is where the real life application happens. Listen to your rising sign first, then listen to the sun and then the moon. All right. So Aries, you have this energy in March happening in your 12th house. So this focuses on your identity, your confidence, and really doing that new beginning. March is a rebirth for you. Early in the month basically is a spiritual reset, and then after that is go time for you. The advice here is don't rush before Aries season. Rest first, then launch. Lead with wisdom, not your ego. We've been working on that with Chiron. That finally is about to exit. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about that. So basically, you're stepping into a new version of yourself, literally, figuratively. You're learning. And you know you are, Aries. I know you are. We're going through it, baby. We're going through it. Sun, moon, and rising. Taurus, everything is in the 11th house for you. So focus on your friendship, focus on your intentions and your goals, focus on healing old dreams. You're cleaning old visions and redefining what community means to you. The advice here is to release outdated connections, dream bigger. My mom be like, dream big, bitch, dream big. Do that. And you have to trust your intuition, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please trust your intuition. New alliances are being formed. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but I know that you're doing something great because Uranus is leaving and is leaving you with gifts and is leaving you with redefining of your money, of your relationships, of what luxury means to you. So, yeah, trust your intuition. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, the 10th house, it is working for you, and pretty much focus on your career, your reputation, and your purpose. This is going to be a professional reset for you. So if you've been thinking about it, this is the area right now. The advice right here is to revisit old career plans and patterns, see what's going on there, clean up your public image. So that's if you're a social media content creator, go into your social media and redo everything. It doesn't matter. You the boss, baby. You the boss. All right. I know some of y'all are definitely doing that. For those of you who work in the office, go ahead and redecorate your office to your liking now. Maybe that was you 2 or 3 years ago. Redefine that. And don't rush any decisions at this time. Your calling is evolving. It is in its progress. Cancer rising, the 9th house. You are going to be more focused on your belief system, your faith, what education is to you. You might be studying more, reading more, studying yourself more. There's a lot of spiritual growth coming your way as well. So you're expanding your mental and spiritual awareness. Your advice right here is to study something new, travel spiritually or physically, and then trust the new faith that you're building for yourself. Your worldview is changing, and it's time for you to go with that shift. It can be your worldview and you not follow it. Leo rising, the 8th house. Focus on your money, budgeting, redefining that for yourself, letting go of old habits. Focus on your intimacy. If people owe you money, this is the time that people gonna give you money too, right? Who owe you money, Leo rising? Let me know. Focus on your intimacy, whether that's for self or whether it's that with a partner. What does that mean for you? Redefine that. And then there's a lot of emotional healing. This is a deep shadow work month for you. So the advice here is, again, healing your financial patterns, releasing control issues, and be honest about your fears, because power comes from vulnerability. Virgo rising, 7th house. This has to do with your relationship, your partnerships, clients, business. This also has to do sometimes with our nemesis. So some of y'all might be seeing some people that you thought were cool and they were actually not that cool. The eclipse is hitting your sign, so this is a big deal. All right. Here, the advice is to end unhealthy dynamics in your life, whatever that is. This is not even saying relationship, career. This is dynamics. All right. Rebalance giving and receiving. Bring those boundaries back in, and then choose emotional maturity. I know you could probably be petty, but we're not going to do that. All right. Your standards are rising, and we don't need anyone to be sitting there fucking around with it. We basically showing the standards. Libra rising, things are focused on your sixth house. So go to the fucking doctor. All right. Focus on your health. Focus on your daily routines. Yes, clock yourself. Be your own parent. Reparent yourself. I talk about that shit all the time. I reparent myself. I'll be in this house telling myself certain things that I do not want to do. And I'll tell myself, you have to do it. Oh, how do you tell yourself to clean? I'll give myself, be like, you got to clean. And then I'll be like, I don't want to clean. And it's like, no, you got to clean. Who else is going to clean for you? Get your routines in order and get your self-care on deck. Your body is talking to you. More massages, more exercise to your liking. Not the type that you think that you have to do to look good for 3 days. Okay? The advice here is to improve your habits, rest more, and reorganize your life system. For you, discipline is going to equal freedom. I promise you that. Okay. Scorpio rising. This is hitting your fifth house. So what's going to be activated for you and things to focus on is your creativity, your romance, joy. Focus on the gambling as well. If you might be able, some of y'all might be able to. I'm not sending anybody to gamble. All right. What I am saying is that if you feel lucky, jump and leap. This might be a great time for you because this is the gamble house as well. Get creative, whatever that means to you. Getting into your artistic mode. You're reclaiming pleasure. The advice here is create without pressure. Open your heart and take romantic risk. For you this month, joy is going to be your medicine. Saturn rising is going to be in your fourth house. So this is more focused on your home, your family, and your emotional security. There's a lot of deep ancestral healing happening at this time for you. So the advice here is for you to really gear towards that. What does healing your family patterns look like for you? What does creating emotional security and safety look like for you? Maybe there's a form of you that wants to redecorate. What does home mean to you? Does home mean sharing it with somebody? Does home mean uh what's internal for you? Is that home? Because I know if you're a Sagittarius rising, you're probably traveling or you're not at home as much as you can be. I'm not gonna say as much as you would like to be because you really like to travel. So just redefine that for yourself. Your roots are your strength, and they are strengthening this month. So yeah, sounds like there's a stable moment for you in March. So I just seen somebody go away to a retreat for a month so that they can stabilize themselves. All right, Sag, who's that? Capricorn rising. Everything for you is going to be in your third house. So this is us. This is us. All right. This is why I'm here right now. Communication. Focus on communication, learning, your mindset. Your thinking is upgrading. So the advice here is to speak your truth, however that may be. Write, teach, and share is very important for the sharing aspect. And really focus also on releasing limiting belief patterns because this month your voice does matter. So whether that's going to be in your internal circle, your immediate circle, or that's going to be external or online, Capricorn rising, whatever you have to say this month is meant to be heard. Aquarius rising, everything's happening in your second house. Focus on your money. You and who? Who else? You and Leo? Yeah, you and Leo. Y'all on the same wavelength, same frequency. Makes a lot of sense. Y'all just, across the axis. So you have focus on your money, your self-worth, your resources. Again, for you, this is for you also it's a financial reset. Budget wisely. And I want to say, I said this before to a couple of people. Let's read that's all I'm going to probably be talking about, because I think once we do this, it releases a lot of pressure. Redefining everything from where we are at right now, not from where our parents, not from our friends, not right now. What does budget means to you? If that word kind of cringes you and makes you push away from looking at your finances, change the word budget to something that works for you. I created an abundance flow sheet where you guys can go ahead and download that and pretty much feel more closer to your money by the word abundance flow rather than a spreadsheet or a budget sheet. So let me know in the comments if you want the link to that, because I have that too. I have a lot of things for y'all. Y'all just don't be looking. Okay. Anyways, Aquarius rising, budget wisely, value your gifts. That means charge for what you're worth. All right. And really recognize that abundance grows with your confidence. Is in the second house. And with all this energy that I just mentioned earlier, write these dates down so that you can use this to your advantage. Pisces rising is going to be in your first house. This has to do with yourself, your identity, your purpose. This is your season and it's also your reset time. The advice here is to rewrite your entire story. Rewrite your story. Like, act like you was just being reborn right now, because honestly, you are. With Neptune leaving, you with the residue that it left you with the last 14 years, rewrite your entire life story on how you desire for it to be. Fuck it. Hit me up. I'll tell you how to rewrite your story. Not tell you exactly what to write, but I can give you some pinpoints, because honestly, Pisces, this is the same thing that happened to all my Capricorns when Pluto left Capricorn. It left us like hanging, like we was left with, hanging meaning like a blank slate, and we still working through that right now. Pluto, it hasn't even been a year that Pluto left Capricorn, and we still trying to figure it out. So I know what y'all going through, Pisces, when a large chunk of your life has been influenced by one planet, and that planet is no longer there. It is a rewrite of your story. And when I tell you it's a rewrite, it is. All right. So for you, honor your boundaries. That's the advice here. And lead with your intuition, because you're stepping into spiritual leadership. Define that for yourself. All right. So March is asking us to merge healing with action, spirits with structure, and dreams with discipline. We are not starting over. We are just starting to get aligned into the frequency that we have been calling in. And with that being said, I leave you with this beautiful podcast. Let me know what your rising sign is. Share a story with me. Where are you during this path of beautiful, chaotic earth that we love so much? I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, stay tuned. Give me a like, because I love you.